So yet another storyline from last night's Trump tiny desk yelling at reporters press conference was that he was supposedly wearing an adult diaper. Now that's nothing to joke about whether it's true or not. From my perspective, that's not something you should mock someone for. And so I was reluctant to talk about this story at all. But Donald Trump made it a story last night, and it's continued to be a story because he's peddling conspiracy theories about it, and he's basically self-perpetuating this, awful rumor about him. And so this trended #1 worldwide, and it's still trending right now. It's got like 500,000 tweets under the hashtag DiaperDawn, Twitter hashtag, and it's showing no signs of slowing down because Trump has basically made it known that it bothers him. And if there's one thing the internet will always do, is that if a celebrity shows they're triggered by something, people will continue to push that. If you don't like something, ignore it. It'll go away. But here's the thing with Trump. He tweeted this out around the time it really started to trend last night, early in the morning, in the overnight almost. Twitter is sending out totally false quote-unquote trends that have absolutely nothing to do with what is really trending in the world. They make it up and only negative stuff. Same thing will happen to Twitter as is happening to Fox News Daytime. Also, big conservative discrimination. And then he goes on to say, for purposes of national security, Section 230 must be immediately terminated. And basically what that latter part is about is certain code within U.S. law that basically gives some freedoms to social media platforms, so they're not directly responsible for what's published on like say Twitter, Facebook, etc. That they're platforms and they're not publishers, because if you're a publisher, you have more responsibility to what happens on your website. But if you're a platform, you have less responsibility. Now, we can have good faith debates about to what degree 230 is good or bad. Those are real debates you can have. But it's clear Donald Trump doesn't like that something that people organically noticed about him at that press conference, and they made it trending, and then it went to #1, and as trends often work, momentum goes and people see it's trending #1, so they tweet more about it, and then their friends see it, so they tweet more about it, and then influential people notice and they tweet about it, and then their followers see it. That's how internet virality and momentum works, and Trump is trying to make that a conspiracy, when I've seen no example of that. I've seen no evidence of that. And again, this story really isn't a big deal. One, it's not fair to mock someone for having any sort of issue with how they control their bodily functions. I don't care if it's a random person. I don't care if it's your personal, say, grandparent, a loved one in your life. And I don't care if it's an awful president. It's not something to make fun of. And we don't even know if it's true. It's an oft-cited rumor. But the point here is, if we're being really honest with ourselves, Trump is the only one that made this real news. Before this, it was just a joke and a rumor on the internet that I was going to ignore. But now, because of Donald Trump's baby-like attitude, and you might say it's ironic that we're talking about diapers and babies and a tiny desk at a Trump press conference, but because of his acting like a baby, he has made this international news. This is a man who is deeply insecure. You could tell that. He does not like to admit that he's lost. He does not like to admit that people don't necessarily think he's a golden god. Whether he wears a diaper or not, he doesn't understand that he's president, the most powerful man in the world, therefore one of the most powerful men in the history of humanity. And that, whether it's true or not, people are just going to make fun of you because that's what we do. People make fun of powerful people. People made fun of Barack Obama. People make fun of Donald Trump. And it shows that he does not have the level of self-confidence and security in himself to withstand these things. And you might say, oh, maybe I feel bad for Donald Trump, but don't, because he knew what he got into. And it's fundamentally the case that if you can't handle people joking about you on the internet, you are not fit to hold the most powerful office in the world. And luckily, he won't be holding it for more than a few more weeks.